What's up, guys? It's Mr. Fisher Bike.
What's up, guys? Nick Yankee Fan 95.
Freeholder 24.
What's up, y'all? This is Garrett.
What up, dudes? YouTube.
Yeah.
Eastern Connecticut Sports Cards here.
On YouTube, busting a pack of 17 Ginter. Chicago fan Jason.
D Robbins 44376 on YouTube.
What's up, YouTube? Aaron 619 here, hanging out with MikeO and the gang.
What's up, man? Also, Jersey Shop, man.
Hi, Bob, Super 25 Sports Cars.
Jake Spartan 98 here.
And Western Group. Dave's Midlife Car Crisis.
Phil McTana.
Abel in Vegas.
Bob Lewis.
Scotty Tradition.
Bronx Bombers Cards.
Max Power Baseball.
Triple Crown 24 JT.
A&D, she blinded me with refractors.
JY Sports Card Guy.
Baseball collector.
NBA collector here.
Eloy the Go Force.
Rated rookie here.
Jimmy Guns.
Tops 85 401 here.
This baseball card life.
Jeremy the Card Dreamer.
Snoop 12922.
Stove Sports here.
It's Jerome, Yankees card.
Troy Rutter, aka TTM Troy. What's up, guys? JMVP here.
Beantown 62.
I'm Ron Fig. Sports card fam.
It's Elite Code 3.
Fan here.
Big day for life.
Bill V. Hall of Fame collector here.
Guys, what is up? I've had an amazing national.
This is Dorvac Pages here.
Pepino Man.
It's Silver Jackify.
I'm Ted. Serenity Sports 50 Plus. Bears Player 23.
It's Bowman 1951 at the National.
Hey everybody, Mike Drug, MD Pit 21 here.
Hey YouTube, this is Spartan Dog.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Snotzilla Cards.
Hey everybody, it's Hitman 23.
Woo! What up, guys? Winsel 888 here.
Hey, this is Michael, Jericho 941 IMI.
Christian with Alice Cards.
Hey, everybody, Bald Rhino here.
Thank you.
What is going on, everyone? MikeO back, Hobbypalooza 2022 here on Bench Clear Media. Super excited to be here. Hopefully we enjoy the next 50 to 55 to maybe even 60 minutes hanging out, enjoying Hobbypalooza. Hobbypalooza, an event put on by Bench Clear Media. Mike, baseball collector, Ty, breaker culture, have done a great job over the years. In 2020, it all began. And of course, 2020 was a difficult year. It was a year where we didn't have a national to look forward to. We had a lot of uncertainty, weird times, weird year. And it feels like it was a lifetime ago, doesn't it? And it was strange. And Hobbypalooza was certainly a special event, a great event. And it really went off well. And I had a blast. Had a great guest, had a great number of guests that year. Last year, we did it again. Again, a lot of fun. Kind of brought the community back together once again as we prepared to finally get back to the National Sports Collectors Convention. And now we find ourselves here in 2022. And again, the world's not perfect. Weird economic times. Uncertainty in the hobby, I guess, for some. If you're a true collector, if you enjoy the hobby, it's kind of business as usual. There's just maybe some more opportunities. If you have plenty of money, you can buy some of what you want to collect at perhaps cheaper prices, maybe even cheaper going forward. If you're a budget collector, that's fine too. It's still there. There's still plenty of ways to collect. And that's kind of what we want to do today. That's kind of what I wanted to do with this stream. Just kind of focus on having fun in the hobby, enjoying the hobby. You got to collect what you love and love what you collect. And if you do that, it's always fun. That's what the hobby is. It's a distraction. It's all about having fun with the hobby, enjoying the hobby yourself, but also with the community, enjoying the community and community members. And I can't think of a better member of the community and a better friend in the community to co-host and enjoy the hobby with than Mr. Wesker Griff, who makes his triumphant return to Hobbypalooza after a one-year hiatus. It took a lot of intense negotiations, but I finally got him on here. Ed, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. As you said, the intense negotiation, you were able to pay my fee to appear on the Bench Clear Media Empire's Hobbypalooza. All's right with the world.
It is, Ed. It's fun to collect, right, Ed? It's sometimes there's some panic in the streets, right? And we want our collection to have some value because it has value to us. If you spend $100, $200 on a hobby box, you'd like to get somewhat similar value. Obviously, you put some value into the enjoyment of breaking it. If you're grading cards, same thing. If you're buying singles, you don't want them to be worth less, but ultimately you're enjoying for purchasing for the love of the hobby and collecting. So that's the main purpose. And I know you wanted to touch on some of the fear in the hobby. I know you're big on it. You're big on watching the games, and a lot of people have watched the games. And your boy Juan Soto has absolutely stunk in 2022. I mean, there's no way around it. Granted, he really didn't have a great 2021 first half. He kind of put it on close to the All-Star break and snuck his way into the All-Star game. But the fact of the matter is, he's 22 years old. I know you really want to get to this, so we're going to get to it before we get busy with some of our other plans. But the fear in the hobby, the people panicking over a 22-year-old having some struggling. Take it away, Ed.
I think Filmington eloquently said on the Cardboard podcast last night, he was talking about how the Facebook groups outside of the YouTube ones are kind of a cesspool. And between reading Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's not too much on YouTube, a little bit on YouTube, not too much, but this titanic fear of where we're living on the edge for every single at bat, every single game of a player is something that you see a little bit in football over the years, but I've never seen that in modern to ultra modern baseball. And it's really hilarious because like you could definitely make the difference between the collector and the speculator. And it's just so apparent when you see like people absolutely losing. I gotta use clean language on the Bench Clear Media empire, but you just see people lose their butts over someone going like 0 for 4 or going 0 for 3 with a walk. The fear, the panic in the hobby is just on certain things is just I've never seen that type of fear or panic before. It's so hyperbolic and it's absolutely ridiculous. And it feeds into the narrative that I've been saying of just like watch the games, understand that players, aren't going to hit 400 every season and bop like 40 homers. I mean, it's real life. It's not a video game. So
yeah, these are real human beings with real emotions, and they're fragile. Sometimes pitch up and in hits a player in the thumb, and their thumb breaks, and they'll miss 4 to 6 weeks or more. And that's just the unfortunate part of the game. Ed, real quick, we have to make mention Super Chats. Super Chat for Signature for Soldiers. It also gets you entries into the giveaway, which will be done Monday, I believe, on the Fly with Mike and Ty. There's, I believe, 7 prizes, including a box of Prism football, which is a pricey product. So you have a chance. $5 gets you 1 entry. $20 Super Chat gets you 5 entries. $50 gets you 15 entries. $100 gets you 40 entries. It's going to Signatures for Soldiers. If you guys aren't familiar, I've met up and purchased some stuff from them at the National, and they're all over Twitter and stuff. So I wanted to mention that. Also want to give a shout out to Mike Moynihan, our producer today. He's also known as Baseball Collector. And, Baseball Collector's had some ups and downs in the community. I think he would admit that too. More ups than downs for sure. But you can't tell me someone doesn't enjoy the hobby, enjoy the community, and have a lot of respect for the hobby to put in, a 25, 28-hour work weekend into producing every single hour of Hobbypalooza. So shout out to Baseball Collector. Of course, our sponsors, Bench Clear Media, because they let us on here. Hopefully they welcome us back for the next edition. Triple Crown 24 Sports Cards, just pump in his YouTube channel, of course, and of course his eBay store, because JT puts in epic work. And MikeO's Card Shop, eBay store I started this year. So there should be a coupon there for 20% off. I believe it's up to items up to $500. So, we have to pay the bills somehow. But having fun, collecting, loving what you collect, enjoying the community, Ed. How excited are you for the National? Is it all about the deals? Is it all about getting the investments? Is it about, finding the next Jason Dominguez to spend $250,000 on, a 19-year-old who's never played baseball? I mean, talk about fear. Or is it about the community who will head to Atlantic City. And if you're heading to Atlantic City, as some have said, the armpit of America, then truly you love the hobby and truly you love the community.
National's always going to be a great time because you're hanging out with people from the community. I don't want to be a buzzkill. I do think it's going to kind of be a really strange national. I've said this before privately and on the on my own channel. I just think it's going to be strange because of a lot of the uncertainty going on in the real world, but also because of the location. But I still think for the people that are going to be there, it's going to be a great time. There's going to be a good amount of us from the community, not as much as would be Chicago, but it's going to be a great time. I think I'm very buying wise, like I'm probably not going to bring that much with me because I will be going every day, but I kind of have a strategy and plan for going on if I'm going to buy anything. I just want to feel out what the dealers are going to be selling their cards for, like what the prices will be, because I feel like it should be a buyer's market for us. You know, the last 2 years have definitely been a seller's market. So there should be good deals only at this national, but it remains to be seen. Some dealers, I've seen it many a times, are very stubborn, won't come up on price because they got a lot of money into specific cards. But if we're going by what a lot of stuff has been selling for on eBay the last couple weeks and months, between pick your poison, vintage, modern, ultra modern, any of the sports, you know, stuff has really been coming down. So it should be a buyer's market for people who want to buy cards.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I think especially true with either low-end vintage, as in lower condition, which is the stuff I like to collect. Because, I mean, I like the occasional PSA 6, 7, 8 in a vintage card. I mean, they look sweet. But honestly, I also like the ones with wear, the way they're supposed to be. I mean, when you're buying a 40, 50, 60-year-old piece of cardboard, it shouldn't look pristine unless, you know, some of the guys who, you know, like chop off the edges of the cards and smooth them out, like, yeah, they look a little too nice. They look a little suspect, right? So I think there'll be deals with that. And I think ultra modern, especially the high pop stuff, which I don't really care about pop counts all that much. If I like the card, I want to own it. I think there'll be deals to be had. And I think it's going to be super fun, especially for locals like yourself and I who have an opportunity to stay later Sunday. I think there'll be a lot of good opportunities to pick stuff up. Some of that fear may pop in, you know, some guys trying to do last minute sales. Want to give a quick shout out to some of the super chats sending these in for signatures for soldiers. That 70s card show, Philly forever. Philly Joe, $20. Let's go. Roman Quinn forever, chat of the day. Reese ND Card Ranger, $9.99. Don's Field of Dream Cards, $4.99. We got Nina S. Look for Nina, perhaps on an SGC reveal very soon on my channel. Appreciate you. Two best hobby guys. We've got about 85 people in the chat. We got 25 thumbs up. Would love to see the thumbs up shoot way up. I mean, it doesn't really help me and Ed. It more so helps, you know, the Bench Clear Media Empire, as Ed calls them. But we still want thumbs up. That way, you know, if we get 50 or 60 thumbs up, maybe we'll be invited back in the future, which is what we'd like, right, Ed?
Well, that wouldn't determine on if I'm back. They would have to pay my fee.
Listen, if enough people watch this, you know, the more ad revenue they get, the higher the budget perhaps is. Then maybe, you know.
You guys have to give a lot of super chats because I got to pay Ed's fee next year. So
look at that. Got to pay for Ed. He's a high roller. He needs to be able to buy a new suit, you know, for the next national in Chicago. So, Ed, we're going to do something shortly with some upcoming guests, but real quick, want you to give some channel information about yourself, because you have to remember not everyone on Bench Clear Media has ever heard of Wesker Griff. Maybe they've heard you referenced. They may not have found your channel. The algorithm may just not be on your side. So who is Wesker Griff?
Wesker Griff is a person that just likes showing off what I pick up, the cards I buy, the cards I submit to either SGC or PSA. Been doing videos for over a decade here on YouTube. Love the community, love interacting with people. Don't care about views, don't care about likes. It's not really my thing. I just like interacting with people, building relationships, and having fun. The most important thing in this hobby is to have fun. You don't want to treat the hobby, especially if you're a collector. If it's not your job, don't treat it like a job. Just have fun, collect at your own pace. If you're going to speculate smartly. Don't put your life savings, all your mortgage payments into an ultra modern player and living on every single at bat that player has, because that's not healthy. You're not going to have a good time, and you're not going to have fun.
And Ed's been around for a very long time. He's done videos for 10 plus years, and he does his SGC, PSA reveals, mail days. You can find some old TTM videos, just like on my channel, MikeO. You can find TTM recaps through the mail autographs, something I used to do back in the day. And that's kind of what got me into making YouTube videos, because I found this guy showing off autograph cards. I was like, damn, I used to do that. And I remember sending an old YouTube message to Ed, and that's how we began our friendship. So I do SGC reveals, PSA reveals, mail days as well, box breaks, try and do some live streams, do some
we do
episodes
a lot
of Hobby Talk.
Too.
I do a lot of podcasts. Well, I would like to do more podcasts. If you guys would like to see Wesker Griff on Hobby Talk once again, those negotiations have been ongoing for months. Bomb the chat telling Ed to get on, please. Then maybe he'll finally make an appearance.
But
Rose rips, $20. Appreciate it.
In all seriousness, though, it's really cool over the years how I've made really, really genuine friendships with people. Going to the Philly show, I've said it before, I can't imagine going to the Philly show solo anymore. It's just so much fun to, hang out with you, Mike, hang out with Ray, B-Roth, Andrew Nuff Said Cards, and just meet all these people.
Reese ND Card Ranger.
Yeah, Reese ND Card Ranger. I should not start name dropping because I know I'll probably miss a few people.
It's very easy. I'm sure everyone understands. So we're going to do a new segment. This is called 5 Minutes with MikeO and Wesker Griff. Our first guest is going to be a friend that we've made over the years here on YouTube. We've met multiple times. His name is Hitman23. He'll be joining us. Hitman23, you've appeared on the channel before. You've appeared on Hobbypalooza. We've met up with you at the casino like 3-4 years ago, and we'll be hanging out in Atlantic City soon. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Surviving.
1 month, guys. It's 1 month. 1 month. And we'll
now, real quick question.
Yeah.
Will the goatee be trimmed at all?
Hell no,
the
baby.
National?
Nope.
Or how much longer are we going to get a?
I don't know, man.
Couple centimeters.
So I can start braiding it. Yeah, no, it's going. It's going. My wife hates it, but right now, it's going. So hopefully, I get another maybe half inch out by the National. So,
Mike.
Yes, sir.
I know this is easy for you.
Yep.
We all know you're not the guy out there subscribing, paying $70 a month for an app to tell you who you should buy or what you should buy. You're not really looking at the top 5 lists.
That is definitely.
You're all about collecting what you love and loving what you collect. What
Absolutely.
do you love to collect? What is giving you joy in this hobby?
I mean, if it's a sports card, I love it, man. Baseball card, I love it. I mean, I can find the best out of the worst. I love. I've been collecting most of my life, so I'm 52 years old. I've been collecting most of those 52 years, probably since I was 6 or 7. And maybe there was, a few years in between that I stopped, but pretty much done my whole life. So back when I started, collecting, really, probably I would say in the early 80s. I did have cards in the 70s, but early 80s when I started understanding them, I didn't care. I wanted the card, so I just always kept that going, and I treat it like I did when I was 12, and I just enjoy it so much. I enjoy making friends and sharing stuff about the hobby, like we all do. I think we're on here, and I get off on just finding stuff that's just weird, and like I said before, I can find a common card and find something great about that card. It's awesome. It's part of the game. If you love baseball, you find something on a card that you can connect somehow. It's great. It's fun too, man. It's fun like trying to find weird things out there, and and picking things up like that. So that's how I go. Of course, I love the good stuff too, that's all. But I really, truly don't do it. I don't buy stuff to invest. I don't plan on selling my collection. So it just takes that heat off. It takes that pressure off. And that's how I roll, man. That's how I roll. So I did want to show. I can show a card, right? I can show a card.
Sure, why not?
All right. So I'm very happy that I was going to do a video, but I said let's do it live. I was really just again one of the things I love to do is seek out certain types of cards. Now this isn't a common; it is a Hall of Famer, and I kind of feel that he doesn't get a ton of hobby love. Willie McCovey, I picked up his 61 tops, his second-year card. Look at the grade. I think I paid $30 all in for this card, and guys, I swear to God, I think it's one of the most undergraded cards I've ever seen. And that's just that's the stuff I go for. I try to make it the challenge of looking for cards that look nice. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I saw a 4 that looked like that. I've seen 6s and 7s that looked worse. And I'm like, how can I pass up on that card? So I jumped on that last week and got it in the mail like 2 days ago. So just stuff like that, and I'm always looking. I'm always looking for the sublime and the weird. You'll see me at the show. I'll be looking for weird stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
you got a little Bob Lewis in you.
I do, man.
Absolutely. Either
absolutely.
the goofy glasses or the weird mustache, or doing something crazy.
Guys spitting out seeds, whatever it is, man. I'm all about it. So
shout out to Rosie Rips for the $20 super chat. 4-leaf cards, $40. Triple Crown, 24. Perhaps the best comment ever. Wesker Graf equals Roman Quinn investor, Juan Soto purist. 3-piece suit over 3-row Pelican cases. Great friend as well. Fantastic. Oh, yeah. BD Kane, $10. Appreciate it, BD Kane. All that going to signatures for soldiers. Ed, do you have something for Hitman before we have to have our producer throw them out as much as it'll pain us?
Since you'll be at the National this year,
yes.
What specific? Well, you kind of answered it a little bit, but is there something specific?
Yeah, no, there is. I really need to add. I want a tobacco card in my collection. I do not have one, so I definitely want to pick up a tobacco card at the National. All
right, anyone go to the National? If you see Hitman 23 and he hasn't purchased a tobacco card,
you gotta hold me up. Yep.
You gotta be like, let's start looking, pal.
Yep.
Especially, you can definitely get affordable ones, and
definitely. So that's like what I'm doing in the
collection.
So.
All right, Mike. We appreciate you joining us. And again, you're just another guy. You watch the channel, and it's enjoyable. It's like this guy loves the hobby. He's having fun. He's enjoying it, and he's having a blast. And that's what collecting is all about.
Well, thank you, Mike, for having me on. Thank you, Mike, Baseball Collector and Bench Clear Media. I made it to the big time, guys. I'm pretty excited. So I appreciate it, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see you in a few.
See you at the Jersey Shore, man.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Be careful. The Jersey Shore. The Jersey Shore is, a nice place, just not necessarily Atlantic City. It's all right. The convention center is pretty nice. The outlet malls around are pretty nice. Other than that, I guess we should keep our comments to ourselves for now. Ed, what else is fun about the hobby? How about grading cards? Do you have fun grading cards?
Yes, I do. Well, grading cards is a lot different though than it was like five years ago. That used to be a big thing that I would do. Go through value boxes, find the little diamonds in the rough, and send them in for grading. You kind of can't. Well, you technically can, but you kind of can't do it for the price structure that it was years ago. Hopefully things will change and the prices will be going down. I know PSA has just started lowering prices some more. I'm hoping that they lower it a little more by the end of the year, which I think is what Nat Turner kind of wants to do. I know he's been on record saying it, so we'll see what happens there. So I think eventually it will get back to the levels it was before the chaos and before everyone started creating every single card that you can get your hands on. But it's a fun part of the hobby. Also, PSA DNA, getting really, really super obscure Phillies for the collection, like Matt Beach. I know we just had an order pop recently from PSA DNA that was sent in 2020. So
it feels like it was sent in about 2012, but it's finally back. We should have a dual reveal coming up in the next week or so. Hopefully, we'll have it out for you. But that will be a lot of fun for sure, because it's fun getting stuff graded. It's fun getting the big cards graded. It's fun getting vintage pre-war slabbed. It's fun getting the ultra modern, something you pack pulled. The challenge of getting a 10, because it's not always a 10, but just getting stuff for your collection is a ton of fun. Ed and myself, we've both gotten cards graded that people will be like, who's grading that card? But you know what? Grading cards you love is not what backs up the grading companies. Grading 45,000 Gavin Lux does that. And I'm not saying some people don't love Gavin Lux. Some do, but not everyone does.
Zions.
So, yeah, that too, the whole basketball craze.
But
so,
go ahead. That's a really fun part. Like, I get kind of some level of enjoyment out of knowing the fact that I'm sending in an absolute obscure crumb bum Philly card of like Matt Beach or like some guy from the 90s, Desi Relliver, Ricky Ortero, that there's probably no signature on file. So that PSA DNA guy's going to have to do research. He's going to have to scour the internet to get an example and to verify that autograph. I think that's just so cool to get something totally obscure where it's probably a pop one, baby, pop 1 or 2, because who's sending in Ricky Ortero, Desi Relford, Matt Beach, Mark Grace?
Who? The question is who in this chat, who watching this stream has ever heard of any of those guys outside of a handful of Phillies fans?
And again, at the time when we sent that in, it was like $15. So,
yeah,
I mean,
nice and
don't
cheap
get it
and
twisted.
affordable.
We weren't paying $100 to get these guys slabbed. No, it was like $15.
All right, we're ready for our next guest. We have Bobbles and Ball Cards joining us. This guy does a lot of work. He does a lot of grading submissions, a lot of SGC submissions. He's been doing it for years. He's got to be one of the top submitters to SGC. Now, I do group submissions for SGC myself, of course. On my page, Triple Crown 24 does them as well. But we might be group submitters. We might have different groups. Doesn't mean we're not friends. And it doesn't mean we don't both enjoy the hobby. Bobbles, I know you do tons of work. I know firsthand. I've done PSA submissions. I did them for years. 500 card order after 500 card order. It's an immense amount of work. Getting everything together, keeping it in order, keeping records, packaging it up, all of that, getting it ready. How do you have fun in the hobby when you're so busy doing all that?
So, first off, thank you for inviting me. I know I was just on with Ziggy, and I feel honored to be invited by multiple people. Wesker Griff, just shout out to you as well, brother.
Woo!
I am a Nats fan, so I have the Soto and the Tux. How do I do it, and how do I still have fun? Honestly, I know people probably think I'm crazy, but the submissions is actually fun because it's what's allowed me to meet guys like yourself or James Gillum, who's in the chat, or Scott, Big Scott, who I think is about to come on in a few minutes.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Yeah, but this hobby is huge, but in retrospect, it's all joined very tightly together because a lot of us know each other, and as you mentioned, just because we both, a lot of people try to make bulk submitting and all that competitive, and it's not. Like, there's PSA's been backlogged for over 16 months, 14 months, whatever. There's enough cards out there for everybody to send cards in.
I got 2 submissions in a couple days ago. Well, one this morning. One was from SGC. It was out for 1 week.
Yep.
One was from PSA. It was out for 72 weeks.
Right.
There's enough cards and there's enough backlogs.
My story with the whole group submitting thing is just a crazy one because, as you said, I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and I was actually just sending my own stuff in. And when PSA and BGS shut down, with the pandemic, my order had just came back, and people started watching. I got behind a camera and a mic, and I was like, hey, I love watching Alico. And, that man's done his reveals for years. And I was like, well, let me share my SGC return. Not thinking nothing of it, just have some fun. Well, then everything hit, and like Elite Co was commenting, Filmington was commenting, Canton Card Collector, like so many people was like, "Hey, I'm glad I found your channel, awesome submission, yada yada," and it just got, started getting asked questions and this and that, and then it started to become, "Hey, would you group sub for SGC?" And at first I was like, "No," it's a lot of work, but I'm blessed to have a spouse that loves this hobby just as much as I do. That's why it's Bobbles and Ball Cards. And she puts in a lot of work and a lot of help. So, how do I have fun? Part of it is because I can also enjoy it with her. We do this together, and it's built a big community, and I've gotten to meet a lot of great people. So.
And you submit your own stuff too, so it's always fun to be able to submit a card and get it back and look forward to how you do, whether it's modern, pre-war, vintage, all that stuff. I know you do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I collect a little bit of everything. So,
and I don't know how people don't collect at least a little bit of everything. I know everyone preaches focus, and like your main collection, the main portion you're spending, you do have to have some level of focus, but like to dabble in everything. Like I personally just can't comprehend how someone's like a huge fan of a team and they don't at least build like a basic team set of tops or something,
right,
from year to year. But I understand everyone has different ways they collect.
Right. Yeah. I was just at Chantilly and I went in just kind of to see where the show vibe was right now. And it was a different show. I love picking up Ken Griffey Jr. inserts, even though, I'm a Nationals fan, but I picked up 53 Ken Griffey Jr. inserts and a few other random things over the weekend and just had fun. Nothing like outrageously expensive or anything, but it was just a lot of fun. So
we'll have to see. I mean, I would be glad to do it. But Ed has gotten to this point where the fame and the glory has gone to his head. So I think he wants to charge for meet and greets. And I think his starting price is like $249. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
There is no hobby hierarchy, man. Like if you see someone at the National, just say hi to them. They're just a dude who collects cards. I've been saying that. That dude just collects cards. Just say hi to him.
It's just a small community, really. When you look at the whole aspect of it all, it's honestly amazing that the little pieces of cardboard bring so many people together. It's pretty cool.
Well, everyone, check out Bobbles and Ball Cards channel. He does the reveals. He'll do other videos. He'll do live streams. Perhaps he'll show up on some future episodes on my channel. We will have to see. We'll have to schedule it out. But we appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Thanks, Bobbles.
Thanks to Bench Clear for Hobbypalooza. It's been a blast watching.
Absolutely. So, Ed, are we going to do a meet and greet at the National? Or are we just going to meet and greet with everyone at the Hangouts? Filmington will probably throw something together at the last minute, even though Pepino won't be there to drive everyone to it. Of course, Baseball Collector, he'll be doing a meet and greet, which, of course, you and I will certainly be attending. I might run into the trade night real quick, but not more than a few minutes. But we're just going to meet and greet everyone. We're not buying a booth and handing out business cards, are we?
I think the Filmington meetup's going to be at the Gordon Ramsay Steakhouse at Harris, right?
If it's on his tab or the Bench Clear Media tab, I'm in. Otherwise, we might be busy.
It's probably going to be funny to see the casino security run like last year with the makeshift trade nights where people just flooded the hotels. I mean, the hotel staff couldn't really do anything to stop it. So it's going to be interesting to see if that happens in the casino. I'm going to say no. They'll probably shut that down. So that will be interesting to see what venues people decide to go to or to utilize during this National.
Yeah, I do think, right there about a lot of action will be centralized. I don't think it'll spread off. I mean, who knows? There might be daytime trade days on the boardwalk or something. If they're in the evening, there could be trouble, but we'll have to see what happens. Once again, we got 99 people in the room. We appreciate everyone watching live, all those who watch archive, because I know a ton of people will watch archive. That's how I'm going to have to watch some of Hobbypalooza because I just wasn't available for all 25 hours of it. Appreciate all the thumbs up. 49, give a thumbs up. I mean, or you could give a thumbs down, I guess, for Bench Clear Media. Mike always says he doesn't care. I think he cares a little bit. He says he doesn't care, but I think he might care a little bit. And we're getting those super chats for signatures for soldiers. And of course, you get entered into the raffles for a chance to win 2021 Prism football and some other products. Right now, we have another guest, 5 minutes with MikeO and Wesker Griff. We've got Big Scott 35. So Big Scott 35, he's a good guy, right? No one's perfect. As you can see, he's wearing a Mets hat, so he's not perfect, but nobody's perfect. But nonetheless, he's a great friend of mine, Ed, the community as a whole. Big Scott 35, thank you for joining us. How are you having fun in the hobby right now?
Same as I always do. You know, buy cards, get them graded. Love the returns. You know, right now the prices have kind of come back to some reality. Of course, they've gone up a little bit, but me and you just talked about that a little bit last week, where maybe it was time for a little price increase for some of them, especially blasters and some other things. You know, going up $5 is not crazy. You know, they're on the shelves now. Hobby boxes. I actually got a, you know, as crazy a price as it is, I did pick up a Bowman Sapphire that I'll probably do a break on this week for my channel.
Shout out to you know, shameless plug there for Big Scott 35. You can check out his channel. You're not necessarily going to get investment advice. You're not going to, you know, get the top 5 guys hitting 220 this year that you should invest in right now, or the top 5 sellers this week. But you will get a steady dose of Pete Alonso and Gary Carter and, you know, some players that actually have meaning to you, some guys that you enjoy watching. Cal Ripken, I mean, what has that guy done in the last 15 years? Why are you collecting him? Is he a highly rated prospect?
Yeah. I mean, his kid wasn't, even though he bought his way into the minors for him. But, you know, I collect Clemente. That's my dabble in, you know, and bitch. But yeah, you're going to see all that stuff. But right now, the hobby is fun. I thought when the pandemic came and it got crazy, you can look back as, you know, those videos I made there. I was not in a good place to begin with because of the pandemic. And then you take away the one thing that I had going, which I felt like it got ripped from me. It was tough, but, you know, I found my way through. And if you watch, if you know me and watch, I also collect non-sports. That's what me and Ed have in common. You know, Star Wars, video games. I collect that stuff as well.
This is the way.
This is the way. Don't tell me nothing about it. I got to catch up on my on the new stuff. So, but you know, that's where I'm at. I just can't wait for a month, man. To see everybody. You just had Bobbles on. I'm staying with him. It's 12 of us. I think 12, 10, 12. I don't know. The number keeps changing. Mets are not sports technically. Hey, now I know. Well,
so another great part, of course, and having fun, and it's something you've learned, and I know you've talked about it in the last couple of years, is meeting people in the community and building bonds and friendships. And you've mentioned in the past, you've gone to nationals by yourself and you have a good time and you look at cards and you buy cards. But I think the national really kind of hit a new level for you last year because it was the first time you really interacted a ton with people and kind of knew people going in and made an effort to connect with people. And that goes both ways and that helps. And that's the part I always look forward to the most. And you just never know when someone is going to influence you in a good way, not influence as in someone trying to get you to buy stuff and pump up Juan Soto cards or pump up Ronald Acuna cards or pump up, you know, all those basketball guys.
Right.
But influence you to add something cool to your collection that you already want to add. And last year I was hanging out with you. You buy a Clemente rookie. Clemente rookie was on my list of cards I wanted to pick up. But then when I saw it in hand, saw you picked it up, all of a sudden I was like, it triggered me to be like, I should really make an effort. If I find one, cool. If I don't, there's always next year, there's eBay, whatever. And next thing you know, I'm walking around with you and Next thing you know, I'm adding a Clemente rookie to the collection.
You were influenced.
Yours looks, but in a good way. Inspired is probably the better word. And, this turned out to be a great deal. And you kind of got it started because I was just kind of looking at stuff and looking at making a purchase. And next thing you know, I acquired the Clemente rookie along with a substantial amount of cash for a bunch of Otani cards that are cool, but they were duplicates. I didn't need them. So that worked. So, money is important in the hobby because this card's really expensive and it would have been a lot to put out. But I was able to make a trade and get other money that I could use for stuff. So it's really cool. And hanging out, of course, is fun. And, we both picked up Clemente rookies and had a good time with it. But yourself, our next guest, and, of course, Ed, all got to hang out and break absolute junk wax. We got mostly complete crap, but we had a ton of fun. And that's
I got some of it graded as well. Some Bo Jackson. I got some Jim Tome's out. Yeah, so from that break. And Don flashed that with Don meeting him last year. That whole group that he was with. I'm waiting for I can't wait for the show, but I'm waiting for the stories because it's a lot of people staying together in houses. And MTV or whoever is missing a chance for 12 people didn't know each other before today, and now we're going to put them in a house with alcohol and cards and see what happens. Because I think there's going to be some stories to be had after this show. I think they call themselves the Misfits House with Don and all those guys. I know you and Wes Griff and Dave Midlife Card Crisis is going to be there, and a few of y'all's friends. I think it's going to be some good entertainment there this year. So I can't wait for the stories.
It should be fun. Ed, you have anything for Big Scott?
Yes, Scott. How are you coping with all the speculators now flooding into the Star Wars realm?
Oh, I lost my mind on Friday and got talked off the ledge because I couldn't. Was it Friday or Saturday? Saturday. I didn't. It sold out of the Sapphire Star Wars in like minutes on Tops, and almost did a rave video that night. But I came back. I came back to reality because I can't disrespect the hustle. I just wish Topps had a better handle on the bot situation. That's it. So hopefully Fanatics can figure it out.
Or maybe we'll wait patiently, and in a couple of years, you'll be able to get a box for a relatively MSRP price.
Or
maybe if things don't pan out.
I've done well with the Galaxy Chrome that came out. I did finally get. No, I did not buy a box, but I've picked up some singles here and there. I really enjoyed like the alternative posters, the international posters, and I got some of the cracked ice as well. You'll probably see that tomorrow in an upcoming MikeO video.
Perhaps in an SGC reveal. And then if you enjoy it, you'll see it a second time if you check out and subscribe to Big Scott 35.
That's right.
Scott, absolutely appreciate you joining us tonight. Keep enjoying the hobby. Can't wait to see you in Atlantic City. Aim for AC 1 month away. Appreciate it, Scott.
Yep. Can't wait to have you both on my channel here in a couple of weeks. Bye.
This is the way.
This is the way.
So Scott is another great member of the community. And listen, you get to meet people more and more year after year. And, everyone gets busy and goes through different stuff. I remember there was a period of time where I was working crazy hours at one point. I was working 2 jobs at once. They were overlapping. And I remember struggling to make 1 video a month. And that's you go through different stages of that. And we all go through different things. And the pandemic and such was really hard for different reasons on different people, and you're having it now. And that's why building a good number of friends that you can communicate and talk with, and you can hang out and goof off and have a good time, and then you can have serious conversations as well. So that's always amazing. Ed, I know we've known some people for quite a while too. this guy coming up next, he was in the first video where you actually showed your face, a little YouTube history. The Wesker Griff for years, it was a mystery what this guy looked like. And then he finally appeared, did a face reveal. And at that same Atlantic City National Sports Collectors Convention, Dave's Midlife Card Crisis is there. What up, Dave?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing great. Just hanging out. Hobbypalooza, raising a little money for Signature for Soldiers. Hopefully entertaining. I can't wait to read the chat later. Hopefully that all gets uploaded because, I've had a difficult time keeping up with it. But again, just like our last guest, no one's perfect. This guy is not only a Mets fan, he's also a Jets fan. So, but either way,
the man's a collector rocking all that Jets gear.
Dude, it's the easiest way for you to get free cards from the community. No one wants to have them. They just hook me up.
How many Bryce Petty autos do you have?
Not a lot anymore. I sold some, surprisingly. Probably about like 5.
Anyone who has a Geno Smith PC is obviously a true collector.
I got Geno right back here on the shelf, all displayed.
All right, Dave. So you got a saying that I know Ed loves. And what is that saying that, shows that you have fun and it's one of the ways you enjoy the hobby? And of course, you look forward to the National.
Yeah, we're going to bust some packs and drink some beer.
There you go.
Coming up, AC 2020.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of nice having the house and the refrigerator there so I could make our trip to Walmart and buy no food and a couple 12 packs of beer and we'll be good to go.
Should be a good time. Hopefully Ed will stop by and, hang out with us a little bit. But Dave, how you have fun in the hobby? Obviously, you collect a lot of different things. We all have specific things we collect. You collect some expensive stuff. The Yankees ain't cheap, but there's a lot of ways to collect, and you do a lot of things. How you having fun in the hobby? How you enjoying the hobby?
Oh, I love it. I just picked up a card while I'm waiting for it to get on the show here. So, and it's, I collect a lot of stuff. I don't collect the prospects and I don't collect the rookie quarterbacks. I collect the old guys that I watch playing, and people don't like to buy those things. So, I can get a retired guy autograph pretty cheap, and I can get some 80s rookies or 90s rookies. I collect 3 sports. So football, baseball, a little bit of basketball, several different teams and just good players. So I have a big variety of stuff I can choose from when I'm looking for stuff. So I don't have to overpay for anything. And there's always something I can get at a reasonable price. So.
And that's key and always fun. And I love your expansive list of guys you're looking for. It's not just the Hall of Famers. It's not just like the All-Stars. It's like kind of the best of the 90s to 2000s and such. Pat Burrell made your list, so I like that.
I still need to get some Pat Burrell rookies. So
I got to see. Might have an extra here. There. Shout out Hawaii Factory for the $22 super chat. Definitely appreciate that. Ed, what do you have for our good friend Dave's Midlife Card Crisis?
Dave, what are you going to be looking for at the National this year? I'm kind of curious because you have a pretty wide scope of things that you normally buy.
Yeah, so the one I'm going to try to get. So the big item, which we'll see if I didn't get it last year, but I'm trying to find like a Perez Steel Mickey Mantle auto is really what I'm going to be trying to get. But
the drunk lush, as Ed refers to him as.
Yeah, so we'll see. But obviously if I don't get the right deal on that, I'm not going to super duper overpay. But I'll be looking for 5 stars and just guys I don't have. Maybe some more Transcendent like I did last year. And then probably some cheap rookies. So
I think the stuff from the last few years, I think you'll have a chance to maybe make some good deals on. One, the guys don't want to sell. They might not be moving on eBay. They might not want to have the sales tax record via eBay. And there's going to be a lot of modern and ultra modern stuff, more so the ultra modern stuff. So some of those products from the last few years, I think you'll have some opportunities to, pick some cards up at a hopefully decent price. We'll see if you have the patience for it, but we'll see.
Bring some judges to move, Dave. There you go.
I might actually. I got some his prospect stuff graded. I want to move because I don't really collect, the first Bowman and then the rookie. So anything in between. And Judge has like 5 years in between or 4 years between his rookie card and prospect card. So I can move all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, in the hobby world, Judge has been around for like 18 years, it seems.
Yeah, and I do have some Pete Alonsos I can move to that I have, doubles and triples of that are graded. So
sounds like a brewing trade with Big Scott 35.
I might.
Dave, I know you always have a good time at the National. You look forward to it. I know, is it safe to say it's one of the highlights of your year every year?
It
sure seems like you look forward to it. I mean, usually it's like 6 days after the last National, and you're like, yo, I'm looking at rooms for next year.
Well, yes, it's a great time. And, besides so I got no work, no wife, no kids. I get to wake up, hang out with my friends, look at baseball cards, and have no really worries in the world except for just hanging out and having a good time. So
your biggest worry is making sure you have enough money for the next day for the show.
Yeah, so that's the one thing. Yeah, I try not to bring all my cash to the to the show because I can spend $1,000 in one day and be in some trouble.
But it's great because, like you said, you're spending all that time with everyone, and you're just like that's all your focus is on. I mean, obviously, we all in the real world have our worries, whether work, family, just a million things on your mind, and you always have a lot going on. I mean, you can see the mess behind me, how much I have going on. But when you're away for those days, like you're literally consumed with, like you said, cards, friends, sports. Like that's all you're focused on. You're looking at what you're going to go out to eat, things like that. Like that's your biggest worry. And it's awesome. It's a great time.
Yeah. So even like last year, every time I bought a card, last year was a little ridiculous with so many people there. You couldn't get right into tables. So I would just go buy one card if I found something, and then I would go find somebody and just hang out with them for a little bit. Then, all right, let me go see if I can find something else. Just because, I didn't spend a whole lot of time, by myself in the show. So I would just go, like I said, buy something, go find someone I know. And you find them everywhere. So.
To your left, to your right, all around you. And it's awesome. All right, Ed, what do you have for Dave before we let him go back to the green room and continue to watch the stream?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the beer inside the National, and is it worth it?
So it's expensive, but
pricing it's a 10.
Yeah, so pricing I give it a 1 because it sucks, but the beer always tastes good, so it's a 10. It's always good to have 1 or 2 here and there. I don't drink that much at the show.
Yeah,
but
in AC, you go down to the beach bar.
That is one good thing about AC. They do have those sweet beach bars. Good for hanging out after the show. So, so I'll probably buy 1 or 2 beers at the show and then just wait till the night. Get a little more bang for my buck.
There you go. Save some money for some Transcendent and some 5-star autos. Dave, we appreciate you.
Those hobby dollars.
Appreciate you having me on, guys.
Thank you so much. Dave. We enjoy it. Can't wait for AC.
Yep, 1 month.
It's going to be a blast. Mm-hmm. All right, Ed. So we're supposed to get kicked off at 8:50, but since we're the closing show, other than the wrap-up show, we're going to defy Baseball Collector, and we're just going to keep rolling for a little bit, and we're going to add a bonus guest that we didn't think was going to make it. He's able to make it, and we're going to bring on our good friend Triple Crown 24. He may have had. Now I haven't done a great job at following the chat, but of the chats I saw, he might have had the best one in describing you perfectly. JT, Triple Crown 24, how you doing?
I'm doing great, but if someone could super chat their gently used thumb to the Bryce Harper Foundation, it would be greatly appreciated. But otherwise, I'm having a great time. How are you guys doing?
I was doing great until the last few seconds. I was so upset last night when that happened. I was watching, and it just immediately, I banging on the group chats like, he's out.
He fell victim to the speculator's folly.
Ed has been looking forward to this, so I know Ed is upset. He believes there's jinxes going on with some of the pumpers, and Bryce Harper is the newest superstar to sustain an injury after being pumped on in the YouTube world and the card collecting investment world. So disappointing, but eventually he'll be back.
I'll be back.
So
JT, why are you wearing a White Sox shirt?
Yeah, I was about to say he gave up on the Tigers real quick, and now
Damn,
White Sox.
What's up with that?
As you can tell by my background, I'm going for comfort, not style here today. So,
no doubt about it. JT, you're among the hardest workers in this hobby. I mean, you're doing your eBay store, you're doing live sales, you're doing shows, you're doing SGC submissions, you're doing PSA submissions. You got to be working 80 hours a week. At least that's my assumption. Maybe more, maybe 90 or 100. Who knows? I know you don't want to talk about that stuff, but how do you continue to find ways to have fun in the hobby? How do you get joy in this hobby?
my joy has really come since I started doing this full time from helping other people build their collections, just because there's one universal language out there, regardless of how you collect, and it's that joy and passion that you get from it. So, being able to add things to my collection, I've had so many different experiences and so many generous additions too, where I feel good when I can like cut a deal with someone and make it so I make a card available to them. So that's kind of the way that I have gained joy from it. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and it's not always the easiest. And sometimes you got to take an L, regardless of what you have into it. Hint, hint to all the dealers out there at the show this year. But regardless, you just got to keep moving along. So I do this because I love it, and I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't love it. So
being consumed by cardboard can be a lot of work when you're doing it, collecting wise. It can be a lot of work just organizing your collection. I mean, I know Ed preached not making it a job, but it depends how you are, because there are people like, for me, I have my stuff somewhat organized. I don't really have it as organized as perhaps I should, but there are people who have the spreadsheets, for like every card they own. And I'm not just talking about like the PSA set registry or their $100 cards. I know some people like Dystemic, who's a longtime YouTuber, collects twins, and he's got every card logged, and he's got tens of thousands of twins cards. I mean, it takes a little bit of effort there. But I mean, doing the sales portion of it, you obviously have no choice but to do it. And it can snowball and get out of control really quickly. So obviously you have to keep up with it. You have to have fun with it. You have to actually love the hobby. Whether you're actively collecting a certain player or not, you have to enjoy the cards, enjoy the look of the cards, understand the cards, and understand that mindset of collectors, and, have that feeling of wanting to help collectors and knowing what will give them joy. So you obviously do a fantastic job with that.
I appreciate it. I'm laughing at the chat here with all the
sure
comments.
The chat is absolutely amazing. And I know I could sit there and just read it for 20 minutes straight and then lose what's going on there. But obviously check out Triple Crown 24 and MikeO's grading submission group. JT's doing some PSA submissions. He's doing SGC submissions pretty much monthly. SGC is killing it, flying by super quickly. Myself and JT both got orders back really quick. I know mine only took a couple days. JT's was like a week or so. So you send them in, you get them back. If you sent one in right now, it'd absolutely be back before the National, which is pretty incredible. And of course, the Triple Crown 24 sports cards eBay store, 30,000 cards. One of your customers happens to be here with us, Wesker Griff. Wesker, what do you have for JT? I know besides us asking him when he's getting in more high-end Roman Quinn cards, what do you have for JT?
JT, what advice would you give to any dealers at the show this year who are very stubborn and don't want to budge a penny off any of their prices, any of their sticker prices, but then probably come Friday, they're going to be irate that they haven't made any sales? What advice would you give to those upstanding individuals?
Oh, they're my favorite type. You and I know that we love those guys, right, Ed? Here's what I always think is that the National is such a great experience. We talk about it all the time, and we talk about the people and the cards both separately, but I still remember the dealer that I bought my Cabrera 2000 Tops Traded autograph from. I remember very specific memories about certain cards that I picked up at the National or just various shows. And those are people that I have gone back to. So if you are willing to sacrifice a little bit now, you could definitely make a customer and potentially a friend for many years to come. Don't let a few dollars get in the way of that. I think there's way too many dealers out there who are not willing to do that. And you can make someone's show just, through a little give in on your end. And sometimes I don't understand what $5 to $10 is going to separate someone from really making that connection. So yeah, if you're a dealer out there who's watching this, make those connections, not $5 bills.
And I look forward to the show. Look forward to hanging out with you, JT. Hopefully, maybe you'll help me work out a few deals. You're a mastermind at that, finding stuff, all kinds of great things. You've helped add a few cards to my collection that'll be showing up in a mail day at some point in the next 3 to 37 days whenever I get a chance to make a mail day video. And I absolutely appreciate that for sure. It's definitely a blast. And again, that's what the hobby's all about. Having a good time, hanging out, making those making friendships. And listen, the National, I'll be looking for pre-war Philly stuff for the most part. And I look
that's
forward
what's
to
in
that.
my nightstand is this little miniature Zamboni. That's literally it. So there you go.
No lamp?
No. No, that's way over there. So
What about your YouTube Hall of Fame patch? That's not on the nightstand?
no, I have that sewn to my chest so that it never goes anywhere without me.
JT, we appreciate you taking some time out of your evening to join us. I know you've had a long weekend. You were at a show. Perhaps we'll get a show recap from you. Is that coming up on the channel?
Tomorrow.
Sweet. We'll look forward to it. Head over to Triple Crown 24 Sports Cards. Check out his channel. Sub to his channel. Check him out on Whatnot and eBay and all that great stuff. All right, Ed. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you do check out his store, buy the cards that have the little white paper underneath that say ESHO.
Or target the MORZ. I still have a ton of stuff I believe on consignment from him, which is great. I mean, that's another service JT provides to the community. There's not many people willing to take on the low-end cards, and there's a market for it for sure. It's a tremendous amount of work, and it just goes to show JT's, incredible work ethic, which he obviously has. All right, and we're almost out of time. The wrap-up show was supposed to start 3 minutes ago. Unless Mike might have fallen asleep. I'm not sure. He's had a very long weekend. But any final thoughts about enjoying the hobby, having fun, building a strong relationship with the community, enjoying the community, not just, trying to use the community to make yourself a massive influencer, not trying to sell them a subscription to a service that tells them what cards have lost them the most money in the last, 10 days.
Yeah, it's just all about, finding your comfort zone, building genuine friendships, having fun with people, having fun in the hobby. Don't overextend yourself. Like I mentioned before, don't put your life savings into something like an ultra modern or modern player, unless you can afford to lose that, because it is speculating. Okay, there's a difference between investing and speculating, and I firmly call it speculating. So just have fun, do your thing. This hobby is incredibly rewarding if you approach it a specific and certain way. Of course, if you want to, have it as a business, that's fine too. You can have a lot of enjoyment out of that. You got to put a lot of work in. A lot of people will attest to that. But if you're a collector, if you enjoy buying cards, YouTube can be insanely rewarding. There's tons of great people on here. There's tons of excellent podcasts, discussions, and you could build really genuine friendships. Check out MikeO's podcast. Check out the Insert Revolution podcast on Tuesday with my boy Steve and Amish Dave. There's just a lot of really, really great stuff going on. You can have a lot of fun. And that's why I've been here for as long as I've been here on YouTube. I've been having enjoyment with it, been having fun, went from when I started from now, it's night and day. A lot of things are different. The hobby's certainly way different. The state of things are completely different, but it's still at the end of the day an enjoyable experience because I have a genuine passion for the cards, but also for keeping the friendships going and checking in on what my friends are buying and what they're doing. And it's a lot of fun, and I always look forward to it. And the National is just an extension of that. So the great thing about the National, like it's been said, it's been beaten like a dead horse. It's a social event for many people in the community. It's to get up, to meet with your friends, to hang out, to chill, go to those AC beach bars, and just have a good time.
And it's getting away from reality. It's getting away from real life for a few days, and it's hanging with your buddies. It's having a good time, and it's a tremendous amount of fun. And that's why some of the videos, like it's weird, right? This year, there's been a number of videos like almost promote, like it almost comes off as like bragging, using it as like I'm not going to National. And I get it. Like not everyone can go every year. There's no doubt about it. I have no problem with people not going to the National. It's just something you can't necessarily do every year. It's expensive as is. And this year is completely crazy. I mean, the cost of flights, especially if you booked early, you're probably okay. But if you're trying to do it last minute because you didn't know you could do it, flights are ridiculous. AC is a challenge because you're going to have to fly into Philadelphia and take a train. Or, I mean, people talk about Ubers. That's going to be crazy expensive. I wouldn't even consider that. I would try and get a ride or do the train, but that's just me. There's a lot of travel. There's a lot of extra cost. And of course, everything's expensive. The hotels are insane. So I get it. But like the National, it's hard to explain to someone who hasn't been there. Like it's an incredible experience. Is it worth going? Absolutely. Can you necessarily financially do it? Or may you not, may you have the time to do it every year? Of course not. And I understand that. But like the National, it goes beyond the cards for sure. And it's absolutely awesome. It's something that you look forward to all the time. And when you get into this time frame, you're getting like excited and you start watching the old National videos and you start like chatting like, hey, you looking forward to this and that, and you make your plans and you get super excited for it. So it's incredible.
Definitely. If the finances for you personally work out, if you have the opportunity, automatically I highly recommend going. But if you don't live within the vicinity, if you don't live here on the East Coast and maybe you're on the West Coast or maybe in the Midwest or the Great North, and just with all the craziness going on in the real world with prices and everything, no, it doesn't really make sense to go because it's going to be very expensive. But when it's back in Chicago, if it comes back to Cleveland, again, if it makes sense for you, it's an experience. It's more than a card show. It's a great experience to go to, especially if you're involved in the YouTube community with making videos and interacting with people. It expands the experience. It makes it way better.
And we all want to buy cards, but it doesn't have to be about buying cards. Andy, she blinded me with refractors, has gone years without buying cards. But just seeing other people's cards, seeing the joy, witnessing them making those purchases, like those are moments that get ingrained in your mind. But before we wrap things up, I would love to bring our producer on screen, who's done a fabulous job for us. Baseball collector.
I wasn't passed out. I know you thought I was, but I wasn't.
I didn't think so, but I was concerned. Anyway.
Hey, I know Ed's watching right now. I just want to show him what he's looking for.
Oh, you mean Dave?
That was Dave.
Or Dave, I mean.
You are sleeping.
I wasn't sleeping.
It's been long. All right, Mike. So you don't necessarily have the problem of some of the speculators and investors out there in terms of being frightened every time a guy goes into a prolonged slump. But of course,
guys can't go in the slumps.
Prices have risen in vintage over the years. Of course, things are normalizing more now. But how are you continuing to have fun in this hobby, enjoying the hobby, and enjoying the community?
Well, the hobby is going to long outlive all of us. I've been doing it 40 plus years, and it's ever evolving, and that's okay. And the the collectors are going to be here no matter what, right? No matter what Fanatics does, no matter what YouTube does, we'll find a new, if YouTube dies tomorrow, we'll all find a new home or whatever. Here's Dave's comment. Dave's just going to come over. He knows where I live, so that's scary. And that's another thing. Like, I've had like 25 guys in the community at my house, and I love sharing what my collection is. I've been blessed. I have some nice stuff. And I love sharing it. If it all sits in a dark hole, as I've said many times, what's the point of it? And watching everybody and an event like this is just fun for everybody to enjoy. Not everybody can be in all the live sessions, but that's okay. You can go watch your favorite content creators, and there's so much different. Everybody's so different, and yet when we're all together, none of that matters. Like, literally none of it matters. We just have a great time.
It's like going to a high school reunion, family reunion, where you just fall in sync with your old friends again, and it's timeless, and it's a ton of fun. I certainly appreciate you guys putting on this event. Obviously, you've been working tirelessly to set it up, but also to actually be behind the scenes for every one of these streams. So pretty incredible. Certainly appreciate it. And I also appreciate you having me on the Golden Age of Cardboard podcast, which, I know there's a whole lot of videos on Bench Clear Media right now, but scroll down, check that one out. And there've been a lot. I've actually gotten a number of emails from that, and it just goes to show, like, obviously you guys put out different content, but like, not everyone who collects is looking for, the $5,000 Mickey Mantle. I think we all are impressed and love those cards for sure, but there's so many different types of collectors.
I have to show you something, Mike. You're going to be so proud of me, because I've been doing this today. When I had moments, I could literally sort cards. I started my binder.
But doing stuff on the binder team sets.
Look.
And people love it.
Rangers.
Texas
Rangers teams. I started the 72, and I'm starting to do all the years of tops that I have.
There you go. Making use of binders, making use of pages, and
all thanks to you, MikeO.
And that's a way you can take that binder out, though, and you can flip through it yourself. Maybe you only do that opening day. Maybe you do it some random day in the winter when you're thinking about the Rangers for whatever reason. Or you have a buddy over who's not like crazy into cards, but they're a big baseball fan, they're a Rangers fan, and you give that to them, and like, they'll enjoy the heck out of it. And it's a ton of fun. It's a great project to have for sure. And it's generally fairly affordable.
I'm going to do a wrap-up show, probably not an hour, but it's supposed to start in a couple of minutes. So I'm going to out of here. But
this stream is certainly coming to an end. Like Baseball Collector said, like Mike said, he's doing the wrap-up show. Make sure you head over there and check it out. You can still do the super chats over there for signatures for soldiers. We appreciate everyone who watched live, all those who watched the archive. Shout out to Hitman23 for joining us, Bobbles and Ball Cards, Big Scott 35, Dave's Midlife Card Crisis, of course, Triple Crown 24. Ed, I know you've rearranged, your entire life circle. I had to break the bank to get you on, but I appreciate you joining me. I mean, the viewership would have been like 12 if you weren't, part of the stream.
He ain't lying.
You are the
He's
stream.
Not lying.
Mike only had me on to try and reduce the overall, because if you were the feature, your fee would have doubled, tripled, quadrupled, perhaps.
At the National, please don't back out. I know you owe me two boxes of Formula One, so I can sell to Dave and Adams to buy some Juan Soto. So make it happen.
I'll work on that.
But Ed, thank you. Mike, again, thank you. And everyone out there, appreciate it. Had a blast. Hobbypalooza 2022. Guess that's it for the live streams. See you on the wrap-up show.